Okay, everyone, good morning. This is the voice of your initiator, Joseph Wonder. Welcome to today's podcast. I hope you all had a nice night and are excited today. Okay, I'm a little bit excited, and the reason why is just because the month is coming to an end and October is coming, alright? So I'm a little excited. I don't know about you. Alright, today I would be speaking on the title, as we can see, faith, right? Faith, and then I'm not going to be telling us what faith is or what faith is not, because faith is a general or a common thing that must have been well spoken of in the Christendom, alright? So I'm not going to be telling us what faith is or what faith is not. But then what I will be speaking on is centered on what we mean when we say we have faith. Alright, and when I speak, we'll see the reason why, although we said we have faith, but we don't see some things that we claim we have faith on. Alright? Are we ready? Okay, sit tight, and then we are flying. Alright, so I'll read the scripture from here like I always do. Alright, but let's try to follow and be attentive. Okay, Luke chapter 1 and verse 30. I'm going to be giving this scenario because it's the thing that looks the most it's unrealistic, it looks unachievable, it does not look as though it can happen, because it's unthinkable thinking this kind of thing can happen. And this is the reason I'm using this example. Okay, Luke chapter 1 and verse 30. A young lady was minding her business, and all of a sudden, boom, an angel came to her saying, "You are highly favored, and then you have a child, you have a son, and then you name him Jesus." And we all know this story, okay? It's going to save the world from their sins, and I'm sure what will be in the heart of Mary would be, is he aware I'm not married yet? That was why she asked the question, how shall this thing be, seeing that I know not a man? Right? Because it's unthinkable, it's unspeakable, saying you got pregnant without having to meet with a man. But then he said, the power of the highest shall overshadow you. And then when we check verse 45 of Luke chapter 1, it says, "Blessed is she that believe, for there shall be a performance of the things that have been spoken to her by the Lord." Okay, so you wait a minute. That means performance to what God said is not dependent on you, but on God. So what then do you have to do? If God has said something and it's still God that is going to do it, so what then do you have to do? It says, "Blessed is she that believes." Alright, and so your own part in the fulfillment or in the performance of what God has said is what I'm going to be speaking on for in just the few minutes that we have left. So the first thing that is demanded of you is to receive what God has said, and you receive it through believing. "Blessed is she that believe, for there shall be a performance of the thing that has been spoken to her by the Lord." Luke chapter 1 and verse 45. Okay, you need to receive it by believing it. Okay, and then the second thing that is demanded of you or required from you is to declare it. You need to say it with your mouth and let your ears hear it. So when it happens, it is not a surprise, because declaring it means you it's a sign that you are expecting it. It's a sign that you believe it, because we are not mandated to see anything we don't say, either in our hearts or through our mouth, with our mouth. So we only see the things that we say. I want to eat rice, and then you prepare rice, and then all of a sudden, rice, you are seeing rice. So we are only expected to see what we say. So it is the experience that you say it, you declare it. After receiving true belief, you declare it. And this is the reason why we see Jesus, Mary now, the mother of Jesus, traveling all the way down to her cousin's place, which is Elizabeth. And I'm very sure she's telling Elizabeth those things with confidence. She's declaring it. Okay, so after receiving and declaring, the next thing is to prepare. You preparing, all right. And then we see this, that God gave them an opportunity to prepare. How that she went to meet her espoused husband, and they began to prepare, because when they gave birth to the child at the manger, I'm very sure they were traveling with the child's belongings and all that, and they even bought. Okay, so even without seeing a sign, without meeting with one another, as a proof that they believed, they began to prepare. Right, so they were expecting the child, and then I'm very sure they began to buy stuffs, baby stuffs, and all that, because we only experience the things that we expect. There is a higher possibility of experiencing what we expect. Okay, and so the law of expectation played a role. So after receiving through belief, after declaring to see, they were preparing as a proof that they believed and they are going to see it. They expected it. All right, and then what happened? The law of belief was in place. The law of declaration was in place. The law of expectation was in place. And voila, all of a sudden, pardon me, I beg your pardon, all of a sudden, the child is here. The child is here. The child is here. Without having meeting any man, without having doing any IVF, without any seed insemination into our womb, without anything, the child came. And what brought the child? The power of the one that spoke that the child was going to come. So the same thing applies to us. God is saying, see, I'm going to give you a job. What will bring the job? The person that spoke it. What will bring the money? The person that spoke it. There are ways she prepared. There was a womb, and then I did a little recording on this, how to see the reality of God's word, and then this looks very similar. There was a body, there was a womb. Imagine she having no womb. There was no housing for the child. Okay, so God has said something. You need to relax, because once He has said it, it is enough on His own part. He's going to make sure He fulfills it. All right, and so your own work is to receive, is to declare, is to prepare, and then you will see. You receive a sign of belief. All right, you declare to see, and then you prepare a sign of expectation, and then you will see it. Okay, you will see it. You will see it. If you can receive it, if you keep declaring it, and if you keep preparing for it, I guarantee you, you will see it. I guarantee you will see it. Okay. So that will be all for today's podcast. You sit tight even as we continue this journey of great flight to make sure your life attains a great height. I'll see you tomorrow. And until then, you keep shining. Thank you.